Grab your favorite mug, settle into your most comfortable chair, and let's dive into the powerful, life-changing magic of a single tiny word. Part 1. The burden of being the strong one. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of Cappuccinos and Confidence. I'm so incredibly happy you've decided to carve out this little pocket of time for yourself today. Before we begin, please do exactly what I'm doing. Grab your coffee, your tea, your water, or even your favorite emotional support snack. We're going to have a heart-to-heart about something that often feels like a mountain when it should be a molehill. A molehill. Not a molehill. Today, we're talking about the word that sometimes feels illegal to say in polite society? No. If you're listening to this and you spent your life being the reliable one, the easygoing one, or the strong one who always makes it work, this episode is specifically for you. I see you. I know what it's like to carry the weight of everyone else's expectations on your shoulders while your own needs are tucked away at the very bottom of your to-do list. We live in a world that praises women for being endlessly available, for being low maintenance, and for saying yes until we're practically running on fumes. But here's the truth we're going to explore today. Boundaries are not about being difficult, cold, or selfish. They are practical, beautiful expressions of self-confidence and self-respect. When you learn to say no without the crushing weight of guilt, you aren't just clearing your calendar, you're reclaiming your power. Part 2. When yes becomes a prison. Imagine this scenario for a moment and tell me if it feels a little too familiar. You've had a long week. Your brain feels a little bit like a browser with 50 tabs open, and your body is literally begging for a quiet evening on the sofa. Just as you're about to shut down for the day, your phone rings, and a friend needs a quick favor, or a colleague asks if you can just take a look at something urgent that isn't really yours to fix. In that split second, your body says no. You feel a tightness in your chest or a sinking feeling in your stomach, but then the mental gymnastics starts. What if they think I'm rude? What if they're upset with me? I should just do it. It'll only take an hour. I don't want to let them down. So you say yes, of course, with a little smiley face emoji that feels like a lie. You do the task, you show up, but the whole time there's this simmering heat in your chest. That, my lovelies, is resentment. I want you to hear this clearly. That resentment is often your boundary trying to get your attention. It is the part of you that knows you're being betrayed by yourself. We think that saying yes when we mean no, we're being kind. But actually, we're creating connection built on self-abandonment. And self-abandonment is the fastest way to erode your confidence. You cannot trust yourself if you are constantly voting against your own well-being to keep someone else comfortable. I remember a time in my own journey when I felt like I had to be the fixer for everyone in my life. I was terrified that if I stopped being the person who solved every problem, I'd stop being valuable. I was so busy being helpful that I became completely invisible to myself. It took a massive burnout for me to realize that my yes meant nothing if I didn't have a no to back it up. Part 3. Reframing guilt and disappointment. Why does saying no feel like such a crime? For most of us, is because we're taught from a very young age that being good meant being agreeable. We were rewarded for being helpful and praised for being easygoing. Having needs, that was often seen as inconvenient or dramatic. But as we grow into ambitious, heart-led women we are today, we have to unlearn those childhood scripts. We have to understand that a connection built on you shrinking yourself isn't real safety. It's just a performance. The biggest hurdle is guilt. We think guilt is a sign that we've done something wrong. But here is the mindset shift you need. Guilt is not always a warning sign. Sometimes guilt simply means you're doing something unfamiliar. If you spent decades overgiving, then rest is going to feel like selfishness at first. If you've spent years people-pleasing, then honesty is going to feel like rudeness. If you're used to shrinking, then taking up space is just going to feel like too much. Guilt is often just your nervous system reacting to a change in patterns. It's like a smoke alarm going off because you're toast. There's no actual fire. It's just a bit of heat it isn't used to. You have to learn to sit with that uncomfortable feeling without rushing to fix it by taking back your no. And then there's the fear of disappointment. Let's be real. Some people will be disappointed when you start setting boundaries. They might even be angry. Often the people who react most negatively to your boundaries are the ones who benefited the most from you having none. Their disappointment doesn't mean your boundary is bad. It just means the old pattern is changing. You are allowed to survive someone being mildly disappointed in you. The world will not end because you chose yourself for once. Part 4. Real life scripts for the boundaried woman. Okay, I know it's one thing to talk about the theory, but it's another thing entirely to actually open your mouth and say the words. So let's get practical. How do we say no with kindness, clarity, and zero over-explaining? Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a 14-page essay explaining why you can't make it. But I also know that as heart-led women, we want to remain kind. You can be warm and firm at the same time. Here are some real-life scenarios and scripts you can start using this week. The work scenario. Someone asks for something urgently when your plate is already overflowing. The script. I'd love to help with this, but I'm currently at full capacity with Project X. If this is a higher priority, which of my current tasks should I move to make room for it? Another script. Thanks for thinking of me for this project. I can't take it on right now as I'm focusing on meeting my existing deadlines, but I'm happy to revisit this next month. The family scenario. A family member expects access to your time or emotional energy in a way that feels draining. The script. I love you and I care about what you're going through, but I'm not available for this conversation right now. Let's speak on Saturday and I can give you my full attention. Another script. I know this is important to you, but I've decided to stay in and rest this weekend. I hope you have a wonderful time at the event. The friendship scenario. A friend who only ever calls when they need to vent, leaving you feeling like an emotional dumping ground. The script. I want to be a great friend to you, which is why I have to be honest. I'm feeling a bit emotionally stretched lately. I need our catch-ups to be a bit more balanced so I can show up for you properly. Another script. I'm not in the right headspace to give advice right now, but I can listen for 10 minutes before I need to head off. The relationship scenario. You need space to process your feelings instead of being pressured to respond immediately. The script. I'm not ignoring you, but I need some time to think about this before I respond. Let's talk about it after dinner when I've had a chance to breathe. The pause before the yes. One of the best practical tools I can give you is the pause. If you're a chronic people pleaser, your yes is likely a reflex. You need to break that reflex. Whenever someone asks you for something, use these phrases by buying yourself time. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. I need to check my capacity first. I'll let you know by tomorrow. Let me think about that and I'll get back to you. This gives your nervous system time to catch up with your truth. It allows you to ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Or am I just afraid to say no? Part 5. You are not too much. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to touch on a theme that many of my coaching clients struggle with, the fear of being too much. We often say yes because we're scared that our no will make us seem too demanding, too sensitive, too difficult, or too inconvenient. We worry that if we start setting boundaries, people will decide we're just too much work to be around. But my loves, I want you to consider this. Maybe you are not too much. Maybe you have simply been surrounded by people and spaces where you had to become less of yourself just to belong. Saying no in the moment is the moment you finally stop treating your own needs like optional extras. It's the moment you decide your peace of mind is worth more than the temporary, and I mean temporary discomfort of someone else. You can be kind and boundaried. You can be loving and honest. You can be generous and unavailable at the same time. This week's challenge. I want you to practice one sentence no. No apology spiral, no long explanation, just a clear, kind statement of your boundary. Whether it's declining an extra task at work or saying no to a social invite you're too tired for, just try it. See how the world doesn't fall apart. If you're struggling with this, please know you don't have to do it alone. This is exactly the kind of deep self-trust work we explore inside my identity and confidence coaching. We work on stripping away those layers of doubt and rebuilding self-belief from the inside out so your no feels more like or feels as natural as your yes. You can also head over to my website, neffieaguntoye.com, to download my free Wheel of Life worksheet. It's a great way to see where your boundaries might be leaking and where you need a bit more alignment. And if you've enjoyed this episode, come join our confidence community where we keep these conversations going every single day. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for choosing yourself today. Until next time, stay confident, stay boundaried, and keep that cappuccino warm. With love, Neffie. Bye.